Shaquill Griffin, you are a Minnesota Viking. What's up, guys? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and the Vikings are signing cornerback Shaquill Griffin to a one-year deal. And this is why you guys got to be subscribed here to the channel, because no matter what's going on in my life at the Chat Sports offices, if the Vikings make a move like this, we'll make a video for you guys as soon as possible. So lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're making videos in the bathroom during free agency. So no matter the time, no matter the place, I want to be your go-to guy for all Vikings coverage. So hit that subscribe button and lock us in. But let's kick it to the contract details here. This was coming in from Jordan Schultz and Will Regetz. Kind of tweeted out his own thoughts. He said the Vikings are signing free agent cornerback Shaquill Griffin on a one-year deal worth up to $6 million. He has 83 career starts for 4 teams. And my initial reaction to this was, it's about damn time. Shout out to LeBron James for a great quote after he won his first championship in the NBA. But that's kind of my thoughts here. About damn time that the Vikings are signing a cornerback, because I love the moves the Vikings have made during the free agency period, but cornerback was still a glaring need on this roster. Turns out they got their guy in free agency in Shaquill Griffin, and these are his numbers from last season in Carolina. He had 35 tackles, did have an interception. Targets, he was targeted 47 times and allowing 30 receptions, and his PFF grade on the year was at 67.0 according to PFF. So on that solid corner, he's not going to kind of come in and be a true kind of lockdown CB1, but he definitely offers just overall more depth to this cornerback room. And listen, there was a glaring need at cornerback for Minnesota, no doubt. And I think now with the addition of Shaquill Griffin here, I kind of like the group as it stands right now, because as it stands, you got 4 corners that I really do think could get serious reps this year and that I would have confidence in their ability to play. Byron Murphy, I don't think he's a true CB1. I mean, we saw Keenan Allen cook him for 200 yards last season against the Chargers. He got beat a lot, but he really upped his game in the second half of the year. I would like him more as a CB2, but overall, I like the move of having Byron Murphy, Shaquill Griffin, and Caleb Evans, and he got Mekhi, Blackman, and hopefully Andrew Booth eventually figures it out as a rotational guy. But overall, guys, Kwesi's been cooking this offseason. I think if I had to say, this has been the best offseason I've ever seen from Minnesota over since I've been, obviously alive. This, in terms of all the moves that I wanted the Vikings to make, they have pretty much knocked it out of the park. I wanted them to offer Kirk Cousins a deal, but if he wasn't going to match that, I wanted them to move on. And then I wanted them specifically to add more talent on the defensive side of the football, and they definitely did that. I mean, getting Jonathan Greenard, the edge rusher from the Houston Texans, was huge. I mean, in 15 games, he had 12.5 sacks last year. He's only 26 years old. He's really an up-and-coming edge rusher in the NFL. And then also Andrew Van Ginkel. He grades out great according to PFF, and he's just that versatile type of player. He can damn near play every position on the football field on the defensive side of the ball. But even Blake Cashman coming in at linebacker, that 1-2 punch you're going to have now of Ivan Pace and Cashman, I think could really work out. And then adding Shaquill Griffin, the cornerback, absolutely love the move. But I want to get your guys' thoughts here on today's show. Grade the signing for me. Get out those red pens. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F on the signing of Shaquill Griffin heading to Minnesota. Let me know your thoughts down below. Overall, I'm going to give this a B+. I think it's a great move. You definitely address a position of need, no doubt. He's an okay corner. Would have liked the Vikings to maybe go a little bit more all out and go get a guy like Tre'Davious White probably. Yes, I mean, but I do think Shaquill Griffin will be a great rotational guy, and that's why I'm giving it a B+. Now, I do want to talk about what this could mean for the NFL draft here for Minnesota, because I really do believe, and I've already thought this, the Vikings were 100% moving up in this year's draft, but I think this kind of seconds my thoughts, as this confirms that the Vikings are going to make a move to move up in the draft, because you look around their roster, besides interior offensive linemen, what other positions do they need to target? You think about it, running back, got Aaron Jones now, stacked at wide receiver, stacked at tight end. Our tackles are good. Obviously, interior offensive lineman is shaky, but defensive line, you address that with the edge rusher position and signing a couple defensive tackles. You brought in a linebacker. Now you bring in Shaquill Griffin, and we know the safety group is great. It's really just interior offensive linemen and quarterback for Minnesota. Now, I do want to get to this quote from Colin Cowherd. He was talking about the Vikings potentially drafting a quarterback, and then he was getting into his rankings, and I absolutely love this quote from Colin because I totally agree with it. He says, outside of Caleb Williams, who I think has the unique talent to thrive wherever he's drafted, the second most successful quarterback in this draft will be whoever Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings land. That's my official QB bet of the draft. And Colin, all I got to say is this is where Colin was right, because there's no doubt the Vikings can offer the best support system for any rookie quarterback coming into the league. You have the best wide receiver in the NFL in Justin Jefferson. You have a guy in Jordan Addison who went over 900 yards, had 10 touchdowns last year, and he was getting the ball, he's catching passes from Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins. T.J. Hockenson obviously went down with a season-ending knee injury, but he should be back by November. And then Aaron Jones. You should have a stable run game now here in Minnesota with the addition of him. And then the most important part, Kevin O'Connell. I believe in him. I think he can really sandpaper and groom a young quarterback. And I think Kevin O'Connell does a great job of kind of showing a QB's positives while hiding his weaknesses. And I do expect a move to be made soon, any second. We're going to be looking down at our phones and to be, the Vikings are trading up in the NFL draft. So I fully expect them to be active here. And just overall, I just can't wait, because once the Vikings made that move with Houston, I think it kind of, almost put the nail in the coffin that they're going to look to trade up. But now after signing Shaquill Griffin, there's really no other needs on this roster. So I do fully expect the Vikings to be trading up in the NFL draft soon. I just can't wait for it to happen. But if you guys made it all the way to the end of today's video, I just want you guys to give me a skull down in the comment section. Make it look like US Bank Stadium on game day. Flood the chat with skulls. I'd really appreciate if you guys got down there and got active in the comment section. Just another great signing in this kind of free agency frenzy here in Minnesota, and by far the most interesting offseason we have ever had here for the Vikings. Now, coming up tomorrow, we are going to be having more draft trade rumors. There's a very interesting tweet put out there by I would call him an NFL insider on Twitter, that said the Vikings potentially have an offer out there to the New England Patriots. So make sure you guys turn on those notifications and make sure you guys do stay tuned for that. And then also, we are going to be going live here on the channel tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys do subscribe. Tune in for our live show. I would really appreciate it. But overall, great move. Vikings do bring in Shaquill Griffin. Absolutely love it. Now you start looking around. What's next for Minnesota? They're going to be trading up in the NFL draft. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Turn on those notifications and hit that sub button. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes, baby.